I mean,
if you
Yeah.
have time.
He's just happy just to have a
available
job.
during break,
it's nice, and I'm
like,
glad that he's there,
'cause
and
I'm
we get little
not
gifts
doing
during the
CC
holidays,
right now,
all the
but
different
then
holidays,
starting
they
in
give you
January,
like
like,
a
oh,
little
sure,
nurse
until
truck.
stuff starts up again, so I'm on break.
Lori
Oh,
got
no,
us a
so
grill
maybe I could send
spatula that she's
you a
saving for
couple-
when she moves out,
Oh
so.
my gosh.
You were-
Yeah,
Okay.
so
For the new
it's a
dog.
really nice place.
It's a lot.
I mean, I liked it.
But
Yeah, for her,
as
I
they get
really liked it for her. She was
Yeah.
very happy there.
Yeah, he seems to like it. He likes all the people he's come in contact with so far. He worked there for
You let me know.
2 weeks,
I also have.
and then, Jason and I got
Thursday nights
COVID
available
Oh,
from
no.
at Thanksgiving.
7 to 9,
So
Sophia that
He
day.
called and said, you know, I'm negative, Fisher never got it.
Yeah.
I had him tested, right when we found out, and then I had him tested again 5 days later.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's
Um,
good, yeah.
Yeah, so
But
that's why I'm like, everything was
they
nice.
were mandatory 2 weeks
Hanging out.
off, just due to exposure.
Oh, yeah.
So he had just started.
Oh,
And then had to take the 2 weeks. And they're like, seriously,
love
like,
to
I'm
be
so
put to
sorry,
work
like, I don't know what to
somehow.
tell you, you know, I mean, he doesn't have any control over that.
yeah. You want me to, is it this the same thing? Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I just would want to know like
Can't
ins
put-
and outs and what to say and what not to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is literally, I just made.
You have to
stuff up.
announce loud.
Hi, my name is
Christina, I would like to have the floor. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't need it now. I'm done now.
Questions, answers.
Questions answered. Put
Who
me
is
to
here?
work.
Everybody, it looks like.
Except for
Oh,
Cory.
no.
Okay,
Cory's not.
don't listen to me because I'm
Is
just
he-
gonna
is he
tease you.
absent?
That's what, I'm Minnesotan, so I'm not.
Is this
gonna
like
be
a
work.
second? I'm missing one.
Mostly sarcastic.
What's that?
Or is this a 2-pager?
No.
When's the agenda?
I mean, I don't want too much.
Oh, yeah, it is a 2-pager.
Oh, I got it, okay, I got it.
Take it back then.
Okay, this-
Oh, I don't have enough to go around.
Okay.
What do you need?
One of each.
I have my own printouts too, that if
No, you've got
there's
two.
not
Taken
enough.
care of.
Well, here's more.
Oh,
Is
is
it
there
November
any- is
8th?
that the agenda for today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, oh, yeah, you weren't there. when
I
we
was
had
there.
it. I just.
This is a
Does Joanne have it?
Joanne, you need an agenda? Oh, I have one.
we have one.
Thank you.
Here's extra.
Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here.
This must be this,
Or Cory's absent.
because this is the old one.
Cory's absent, that's it.
Only is 2 pages.
Oh, so I don't need this.
Melissa's missing. She won't be able to make it tonight, but we do have a treasurer's report.
Yes, I do have that.
And I need to step out about 6:30 to go to the
This is
annual
my-
Fire Relief Association. Mayor and Geraldine, but she's off with sick kids, so starts at 6:30, usually runs till 7. So I'll be going for about 30 minutes. So just keep going through the agenda and I'll be back as I can, so. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Christina, I motion to approve the agenda for.
Second,
I'll second.
we'll try and get through as much as we can, but I did want to let the G, H, and I, if we get through those for sure.
Before 6:30, you mean?
Pardon me?
Before 6:30?
No, tonight at least.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna shut that down.
December, we got a lot of things going on. Okay, all those in favor of the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. November 8th meeting, so I make a motion, we approve the November 8th meetings for a second.
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Treasurer's report from Melissa,
Okay, so Alyssa did send.
copies too, if you want to.
Take one from me for.
From Alyssa, I have reconciled the checkbook as of today. Estimate remaining for donations has not changed from last month's figures. $18,000 available to cover the holdback for operations, which was discussed at least 5K, maybe up to 7, blah, blah. We discussed that at the last meeting, and I think we landed on holding back 10. I think we're probably gonna revisit that tonight, but I'm pretty sure that's where we landed with that. Printouts, Ryland just handed out. she's saying if we held back 7, there would be 11 to distribute. However, if we go with the holding of 10, we'll have 8, right? So a small correction there.
Good, any questions? We can kind of continue. Why don't we, any questions about that? We'll talk about the operations and donations amount here in a minute. That's what we discussed at our last meeting, so we'll start there. Item G, based on that one first, we're looking at, we know Jim is council member that represents the fire relief and fire department. And there was discussion last month about possibility of changing our Gold Rush meeting time, date to have Jim participate in more of our meetings than just 30 minutes every month. If we're willing to do that, or what are the options alternative?
I think
One,
one of the things that we talked about, I think we were talking about that was possibly moving it to Wednesdays, because that's also a night that's not a sports night at public school. So it would help, people wouldn't have games and all sorts of things that they would need to attend to if we tried to do a Wednesday.
like a Thursday is kind of a sports night.
Thursday, there's sports every night of the week except Wednesdays. There are
Well, there's
no,
also committees scheduled.
right, and I don't know
every
about that.
Tuesday and Thursday, other than, you know what I mean? It's like, one of us has a committee meeting almost every Tuesday or Thursday of the month.
And Wednesday I can't attend because I have martial arts every Wednesday.
Oh.
Well, then that doesn't make any difference anyways.
Well, Jim, so how can we keep you up to date?
Well, and having for quorum too.
I just wonder what we can do, because it seemed like the last 30 minutes, or like before you left, I feel like we spent like a good solid 20 minutes catching you up on stuff we had talked about.
Mhm.
And that makes our meetings longer. So what do you think? What can we do? I mean, they are Zoomed, so is there a possibility that you could just take time during the week to watch them? To keep caught up?
I can try.
Yeah,
During the, yeah. That's gonna depend, honestly, because my nights are slammed.
so Wednesday nights,
when the
is-
fire-
I have
When do the-
7:30 every week
How
too.
many
so
times does the fire department meet?
Pardon?
Is it twice a month?
Pardon?
The fire department, do you meet twice a month or is that,
It's just once.
just once?
Once,
So I'm,
First
When do the
responders
minutes
is the
come
other
out?
one.
Right away, I said,
Typically,
they're right away.
I mean,
I
because,
finish them that night,
okay,
I'll finish them tonight and
because I typically always will read the minutes. Unless there's more to it than the minutes.
well, there's always more to everything than the minutes. That's why we
Yeah.
have Zoom now, you know, it's like, because we have so much discussion that I don't include.
Mhm.
Well, and
It's-
quorum and
it's
numbers
not
for
verbatim.
quorum and for
We need
vote
quorum.
voting
That's
and stuff
fine.
too is tough.
Yeah.
the one thought I had was, and I'll talk with Dan and Pat is, and I don't know how much you participate in the discussions with fire relief or fire department. I know when I was
I do.
going to the meetings, I'm there, but there's really not, other than following what's in the minutes too, there's not that much we really, as a council member, maybe differ as far as us having input into their meetings. And if things go the way they possibly may go, they may be out of the gambling business too in February. So the fire relief meeting is going to have a little bit less detail in their agenda.
Yep.
So I wonder if you just went to the fire, if this is okay with Dan and Pat, is it, you can at least go to the 7 o'clock meeting with the fire department. That'll give you an hour here.
If they're out of gambling, there won't be a relief meeting. I'm assuming.
Well, and maybe it would be like ad hoc when they need you. They
Yeah.
will
But what-
contact you to come or.
Help me understand what the real problem is though. Are you guys worried about voting? I think there's a lot of people.
No, I think it's
here.
just,
Oh, tonight there's a lot of people here. Last month, we almost couldn't have a meeting because we had exactly enough people.
Mm.
And you had to get out of here and
We had to put a vote early before you left, I think, one time too, because it just, when we're,
It just seems like
There's
a
a lot of
lot of times we
decisions.
only have 5.
or we have a lot of decisions to be made too, that
And
would
like
be
I
nice to have everyone's
yeah.
input.
And it's a big, even though it's a one weekend a year, we plan all year, we work all year round, we plan all year round. So when we're planning things and we're missing a committee member, we need your input, especially when you're a council member, I think we need all the committee members that can be here all the time.
No, you don't get that now though. Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying, if you were here, we'd have one more person here.
Yeah, where's Corey? I mean, not everybody is here all the time. Let's be real.
That's true.
Yeah, and, but I would say, like, over the last 3 years, I've probably only missed 4 meetings, maybe.
And
What if we keep it on, what if we
Over 4
keep it
years,
on
like, it's
Monday
a
night,
rare
but we
occurrence.
move it to the 3rd week of the month instead of the 2nd, so that it's not
Did you not have
coinciding with
enough
fire?
people?
I think that has to do with city council.
So
minutes.
city
Okay.
council that, because sometimes, yeah. The night before city council.
But what if we did it the
Could be a Monday,
first?
Tuesday
the-
week.
Or I'm
the
just saying
first
any other,
Monday-
yeah,
first
any
Monday
other
of the month
Monday.
Instead of the 2nd, first Monday of the month.
Let's see what else is on the calendar.
It's,
This month's Parks and Trails.
Oh, that's
They
me.
and I,
is township still meeting on first Monday, or
Yeah.
did they move?
they
They're-
moved it to the 2nd Monday, because they're gonna be meeting in here and we're gonna be upstairs
Oh, okay, so
on the
that's. they're doing
2nd,
that.
starting in January.
Oh, okay, I knew there was talk about it, but I didn't know,
Yeah.
because it hadn't started yet. Okay,
And there's a hot point up there now too, so
Mhm.
we'll
Oh.
have access to the internet.
So basically, Wednesdays are all that would probably work,
But they don't work for.
but they don't work, so.
So no, yeah.
So, okay, so I guess we don't move the meeting, but we try to make it so,
Well, if you can say, if the Fire Relief Association is okay with you not coming till 7 o'clock. For the first hour of the meeting, have a gold rush meeting.
we can get through more.
Or like you said, potentially they might not even be continuing meetings if
Right.
something goes
Yeah,
down.
if
So
they
we can
don't
just
have-
revisit this in January.
Yeah, if they don't have the relief, that's fine. But, and the other thing I guess I would suggest is, if there's enough people here that's quorum, I can get what I need out of the minutes too.
I don't know, I guess I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's true. It'd be like me not showing up to city council meetings and then just reading the minutes.
Well, then that'd be like me not showing up for that meeting. What's the
No, because you're a
difference?
representative, you're not on the committee. You don't make decisions. You
Well,
don't
you're a
vote.
representative here, right?
No, I'm on the
You're
committee,
voting
we
here.
vote.
Yeah,
You don't vote, like I go to first responders, I listen in, I ask, what can I do for you? Is there anything you need to take to council? I leave early because I have to go to parks. That's how I work, right? So like, I have the
Right.
same issue as you do. But I understand my priority is here because I'm a voting member here. You don't vote at fire hall, I don't vote at first responders.
Mm-hmm.
You could just contact them and say, hey, what do you need from me this month? What do I need to know? Have them put you on the top of the agenda or at the back of the agenda, or whichever, however you want to work it. Yours is opposite than mine because I go first. And then, I just want to make sure you're prioritizing the right thing because you're on this committee. You're not on that committee.
I think basically we just want to make sure we have input from everybody on the committee.
I just want you to understand like what goes on so that like that weekend of Gold Rush, you're not just like,
Well, it's a city response, it's a city
And it is a-
committee, so
yeah.
we need to work with that or keep that in mind too, but if there's.
Yeah, because Gold Rush is not the only thing that the city is responsible for. I mean, there's more to the city than Gold Rush.
Well,
Right.
obviously, we're all on multiple committees, and like I said, I represent first responders. You represent fire department.
That's fine, Dana.
So you can do
How-
both things is what I'm saying is like, you have to just make a priority. Like I have 2 meetings that night, like the same as you do.
help me understand. How many times do you guys not get to vote? How many times do you not have enough people?
I don't even so to me,
Not very
that's not
often.
even
It happens, but not very often.
that's not even the issue. Like, why don't you want to participate in this?
I didn't say I didn't want to participate,
Well, what's the argument?
but I've got responsibility there. I've got responsibility here. I'm on other committees as well.
Yeah, all of us are, Jim. Lori and you and me and Ryland all have the same exact situation. But we're here every month.
So let's kind of wrap this up
I
for
don't
tonight.
buy it.
I guess if you would take the approach
Hi, I'm just
to,
asking to participate.
Well, I could step off. You want me to step off the
No,
committee? I
no.
will.
no, you don't.
I will.
You can't.
Don't push me to that limit, because I will. I
We're
don't need
asking
to
to
be on
participate?
this. I don't
You are
need to
by
be
the
on it. You're
bylaws to be
irritating.
on the committee.
What's
The
that?
bylaws state that you are on this committee.
No. That'll change.
5 council members and 4 public members are by the bylaws make up this committee.
I am
There is.
attending the committee meetings. Right?
For a half an
Right,
hour.
For a half hour, but we'd like to have you for the whole hour. So I guess if you could consider taking the approach of talking to the fire relief or talking to Dan at the fire department.
And
At
I
the
will.
beginning of the meeting, if there's important things that a council member needs to be there, it's perfectly fine to stay. But if he says, no, there's really no urgent business or requires council input or taking anything back to the council, of course, Dan comes to our council meeting. Then I would just ask that at the meeting, at the beginning of the meeting. And if there isn't anything, then you would come back to our Gold Rush meeting.
That's fine.
And I am just happy to reach out to Corey and ask him to keep him
Yeah,
to
I
be
don't
at the
know.
meetings. I'm happy to do that.
I'm not asking
want
Corey
all of
to
us.
be here. But I'm just saying it's
I
not
said
that,
I would be
it's
happy.
not that there's,
Okay.
it's about everybody being
I
here.
think we've discussed this, so let's take that approach and let's continue on here before I need to take off. All right, donations. So kind of wrap this up with ARP funding. Last week, a week and a half, I started talking to Mike about our commitment for using the ARP funds. And
Can you tell me what ARP means?
American Rescue Plan.
Okay.
That's where we got the 80. We received another payment of $2,300 at the end of, or early December from the state, and that was a result of people that didn't request the funds that they were being given by the state. So they split that out amongst all the cities, and we got another $2,300. $2,342.
To Gold Rush or to the city?
No, it's city.
No, to the city. To the city. So in my research of the Federal Register and talking with Mike, and Mike says there was a pretty slim chance of us doing it. The main reason is the ARP is written around a time frame. Says that the recipient may only apply or may only use funds to cover costs incurred during the period beginning March 3rd, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2024. And so it's Mike's opinion that we really don't have, because this time frame of ours happening back in 2020 without the Gold Rush event.
Oh, we didn't have it.
That's right. So we lost that extra operational funds and donations. So in his opinion, we don't really qualify for the funds. So given that predicament, if we go to our treasurer's report, you look at the 18,000, as just as a suggestion, if we were to increase the holdback from 7,000 to 9,000, and that would drop our donations from 11,000 to 9,000. We've gotten 4 requests for funds. There's the History Center.
There's an amount though, it's just a printer scanner. Oh, give it in there. Oh, yeah.
I updated this, so I got a
Thank you, Ryan. And print this
got
one
an
out.
email from, or a text from Linda Sorensen, from the Presbyterian Church, just requesting a donation for us using the vendors to using their parking lot. didn't ask for an amount. Pine Island Services, 1,000. National Night Out was 2,500. And 4th of July is 7,250, which is what we've done in the past. And the VF Auxiliary was asking for 1,500. The History Center, Mary from the History Center said we'd like to request a donation to the Roanoke Area History Center so we can upgrade our printer scanner to larger documents for our visitors.
Any idea of a price?
I'm sorry,
Any number?
it's just a verbal document. I mean, this,
She didn't request a number though, like.
no, just a donation towards that.
Okay.
I should make copies of these. I'll send them out to the committee, or you can send them out. The other one is from the VFW, from Sharon Parker, from the auxiliary for the 1,500. Just various things that they participate in. The sandwiches, before they had $140, they donated $140 in meals. They had $2 discounts to 25 participants of the walk, run, the 5K.
I'm surprised there should have been a letter sent by Jessica Jacobson for Century football team and for Pine Island cheer.
Yeah.
Pine Island Services was $1,000 to facilitate continued growth and support for the programs reaching out to their elderly in both Orinoco and Pine Island. Volunteers are provide transportation, grocery shopping assistance, handyman services, chores, delivering meals, pure, and more.
So they requested 2,000 last year, or 2020, 2019 for 2020, we ended up giving them 300. And that was one of those that we really vacillated on, even the 300, just because they may serve some of our community members, but it's kind of one of those, like.
They serve Meals on Wheels and they do driving, and it's kind of like, so Family Services of Rochester and Pine Island, like, because we're split.
Right.
It has to do with your school district. So like Meals on Wheels can serve in the Orinoco area, and the Pine Island does other people in the area. Do you know what I mean? Because we're such a goofy town.
Yeah.
So we do get serviced by them.
But I think that was when they're asking for 1,000 and we donated 300 last year. I think we could probably do something similar to what we did last year. We're on a way tighter budget than we were
Yeah.
before, so.
As far as just a quick comment before I step out here, the National Night Out of 2,500, the 4th of July. I contacted the fireworks company that does the display and the supplies for the person that fires it. And she said, we just need to tell them 70 days in advance of July 4th, whether or not we're going to have a fireworks display, or place an order, I should say. So unless there's an outreach of donations, either by volunteers or, I know the National Night Out, city staff contacts city staff for donations too as well, so.
Yeah, I got, looking at this, my concern about a 4th of July with 7,250, our donation budget is 8,350.
Right.
Like, so we would have under $1,000 left to give.
And my idea was to, collect, like so many little towns make it a community event where they put out collections, kind of like we do for Toys for Tots for 4th of July. You put them at Casey's, you put them at Gas and Go, you put them here, and people can donate. And it's really common for something like that to be put on by.
Is that, so question then, we can't as Gold Rush get ARP funds, but can the city use any of that 2,300 ARP for fireworks? No,
No, I think it's
It's gotta be
operational.
COVID related.
COVID related.
Yeah.
That's the stick.
How about, we didn't have fireworks last
COVID
year
related
because of
recovery.
COVID. I would really like to have fireworks this year.
I mean, I don't know what is the 70, is this the full cost?
What's that?
Is the 7,250 the full cost of fireworks? Like that's the check
That's
you write
my
out?
understanding, yeah.
So we could do part of it and then we could
Yeah.
really raise the community awareness as like, hey guys, we really want to do this. And we've got a long time to raise that awareness and to get that, after the new year.
What would you be thinking about as a number, if you were to shoot a number out there, how much do you think you could afford to throw that way?
Just as an example, if you look at 2020, and I should step out real quick, if you took off the National Night Out and fireworks, it's about $8,000. If you look at the 2020, so there is opportunity to give some funds. So either you can look at keeping those minimal numbers to the organizations or eliminating any of them this year. That's another possibility. Because there's not funds to go around to everybody. So it's
So fire didn't
Should be-
request any funds?
no. So they say something about a pager or something like that, but
I think,
It is nice that, like you said, to decrease, but then still be able to give to the ones that have requested,
Mhm.
rather than putting all of it into one place also.
so if you wanted to, I brought my computer, I can scratch things up. Well done.
So
throwing out a number. I don't know, you guys, like, throwing out a number. What if we just started with?
I don't know.
I don't know, what
I would say more than half, but
what if instead of throwing out a number for fireworks, we throw out the numbers that we want to donate to the businesses that have
Okay.
passed?
let's start there. That's a good
So
idea.
that
good idea. Yep.
we can get
We know
that
what
narrowed
we're
down and
left
then
working
we
with.
can-
Does anybody know what the price of a printer scanner is?
Well,
Well,
let's just look
be.
at what we gave them last year was 150.
Mhm.
So if we're looking at how much
Before it
we,
was 500 though.
right, but we're shrinking. Our money is shrinking. So if we said we gave you 150 last year, but we had a bigger budget to work with.
Do we do 200?
You're going up.
We
She's
wanna go
talking about going
down.
down.
Yeah, but we only have like 4 people who've even requested money. I thought we decided we're not gonna give money to people who didn't request it.
Yeah.
We're
because
not, no, I agree with
Okay.
that. I'm just saying. We have,
So we only have 4 and like, this is a big list of people.
but we had $15,500 to spend last year
Right.
Sure, we have 80.
total, and we have half of that right now. Even though our list shrank, we still have
Because we still have
half the
12,
money.
yeah, we have 12,250 requests. We need to cut that down a
Yeah, but
bit.
that's, so much of that is, again, so much of that is fireworks, which I just think
Yeah, we can cut,
isn't necessary.
I think we could cut that down. I mean, what do you think realistically though, too? I mean, I don't mean to jump back. Lori, I liked where you were going, but as far as how much do we realistically think we could raise as a city towards fireworks? So let's just put that in the back of our mind.
I'm
Well,
surprised that's all it is. To be honest, I thought it was way more than that.
I mean, if you go out to buy a printer or scanner, it's probably $100. It's
Yeah.
probably not more than. I mean, I don't know what they
What size?
need it for, but they have. I
They
mean,
want bigger. I mean, what are they wanting? Bigger, and then that's paper and that's ink too,
So
so.
thinking like
depending
legal
on-
size, or like where are they thinking? Yeah, is like their bigger thing that, are they looking for like
Yeah,
historical?
they did say
maps?
bigger, not newer.
Right,
So,
so what are they wanting to print? If it's 11 by 17, that's not gonna be, we're not gonna be able to.
But if we can give
No.
them money towards
Yeah.
their bigger scanner, that's all we really need to think about, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
So what if we kept with 150? What if we stayed with what we
Start
gave them
there,
last year? Stay
Sure.
there. So donation for parking, We gave last year 700. I have very mixed emotions.
Well, I know that didn't we also give them a discount this year for something, for the,
No, that's the other church.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's Grace
We're
Lutheran.
not,
You're right.
we're not,
No, I'm wrong, I'm
They're not
wrong,
on our
I'm completely
list.
wrong, I'm sorry.
they did not ask for anything this year.
Presbyterian, so,
So I think if we did, I would think 5.
5.
Yeah,
let's read your mind.
You're saying 500 for parking?
Mhm.
yeah. And then, and it's not only parking, but they also do such a great job of like, they've opened their church in the past, like 5K packet pickup, you know what I mean? They've just been so
Mhm.
easy to work with and then they also, yeah, they're just very generous, so. I feel like we
That's-
can-
that's
They
fine.
serve too, don't they?
And that's
we
been
can
a
return the
really,
favor.
yeah,
Don't they serve as well? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they're very involved.
and that was
Food
really nice for
service.
the vendors to be able to have some places too, 'cause
Yeah.
I know they help them out too with some parking spots, so.
Okay, so 5 for the Presbyterian Church. Pine Island. Last year we gave 3. They requested 2,000 last year.
Can we stick with the 3?
I feel like we should go to 2. I feel like we cut the church down
Sure.
200. I just feel like it's, like if we're cutting, we should. Okay, let's bypass National Night Out and 4th of July and go down to the VFW auxiliary, 1,500. We didn't, well, they didn't ask for anything last year, but we ended up donating for both the meals and the window.
I see that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did donate a lot of the meals.
I would,
I feel like they do so much.
they do, and they
we-
do it with so little, and they do it with just a few people.
Yeah,
I would love to help them more than just the 300, so.
Could we do 1,000 for them? I mean, could we kind of make a statement saying like, we
We
can't,
appreciate you and we
Please.
can't really do this whole without you.
mhm,
Please continue to help us.
and we can't necessarily give you everything you asked for, but
so we're at 1850.
I would really like that, yeah.
hey, what do we have left?
I'm gonna do that math also. So was that for the VFW,
Auxiliary or
what
the
about
free
the
meal?
auxiliary?
That was
Just
just
was
the
the
auxiliary.
auxiliary, they were the only that asked for it.
So we're at 6,500 left, if we stay with the 8,350.
Okay. So we have
And yes, I
60.
use my calculator, because it's been a long day.
Yeah, we'll do that anyway, regardless of that.
So we have 6,500 left.
I'm just double checking my math. Yes, 6,500 left.
I'd really like to know more about National Night Out.
Ryland, I asked about this in the last meeting because I was like,
Like, how did that budget get to be that?
he said it's always been 2,500. We've always given 2,500 forever, 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 forever. The differences and the changes that I saw this year is, I mean, they moved it over to the fire department, which was awesome.
Oh my God, I loved it.
Everybody said that.
Hands down.
Everyone who was there said that. People who lived here, people who didn't, people on the committees, people who weren't, everyone said they loved that. As much as Geraldine said, how much work that was, and oh, blah, 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 they did a great job.
They did.
They got really great fundraising. It was super awesome and excellent. They didn't have a super hard time getting sponsors and getting money.
And that's what I was just
Yeah,
gonna say. I
they
feel like we
didn't.
should just can National Night Out donation and put
Well,
the rest.
I don't know if we
Can
can.
it?
I don't want to.
Can we split a little or like give a
Well,
little?
I just feel like,
But if they did get a lot of, like, how much did they get to cover?
They got a lot of they got a lot from local businesses. Almost every single business we didn't have a sponsorship for Gold Rush, they got for National Night Out, and some of them did
Double.
both.
And
Many did.
here's-
Lots of those
here's
businesses
the other
did both.
thing that we're not seeing is what do we have currently in the fund for National Night Out?
That's the problem.
Yeah,
So
what's the budget
that's-
line?
I wish we knew.
That's the piece of the puzzle that we don't see, and we have money set aside for this stuff. We've always donated $2,500. It's never cost the city $2,500 to hold National Night Out.
That would-
Not with
I
what they
can't
had done in
imagine.
the past, right?
Well, and the amount of work and the amount of stuff that the fire department
Right.
footed.
I think honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, those damn bounce houses are a fortune. And so when they bought when they had those, because sometimes we'd go and there'd be two of those enormous bounce houses. And so they might have blown
They
their
may have
budget on
spent it.
those, seriously.
Which they should not do. I can get them for free,
Oh, my God.
for free. We're not paying $800
Oh.
for a night or two. I know how much they cost.
No,
Mhm.
then
So,
you get.
I mean, if we find the right people, the right sponsors, the right connections, whatever, I do feel like,
Well, what if
and the fire department is way more involved this year than last year, and with their help too, I really think we could work together. I don't want to back out and say, oh, Gold Rush is not gonna, this is not on the city and the fire department now. I don't want to say that. But I agree with you.
What do you
I
have
think
left?
2,500 is
We have
way,
6,500
We don't
left.
Okay,
I don't
so
think it's that
here would
much.
be me throwing this out there.
500 to them and then the rest to.
No. I would, but that doesn't mean it has to be this way. I would like to just do 1,000 National Night Out. And here's why, you guys. I've heard I know so many people love fireworks, love it. I also have heard from many people that they think it's silly that we spend the majority of our money from Gold Rush on one night of the year and fireworks that not everybody can appreciate, not everybody can go to, whatever. So I can see both sides, and the town it's almost like split on that. Do you know what I mean? And so I
So maybe
don't,
instead we split it half and half.
or just say,
I don't know.
I think we decrease do you know what I mean? Like,
I think
kind
we
of
decrease
decrease
both of them and then-
everything and make it make sense. So like, we're kind of,
Well, that.
so that
yes,
everything is affected equally almost. Do you know what I mean? And then I do have an issue. I mean, I know we said we weren't, but we always give to Civil Air Patrol. And they don't ever ask, and that's not something that we've expected them to do. So I do think we have to do something there.
They do as such. a lot of
And I
work.
think it would be a huge issue if we didn't.
Because doesn't it, yeah, that helps their scholarship, yeah.
Right.
who are we
Oh,
discussing?
with Civil Air.
Civil Air
We didn't
Patrol.
take Civil Air Patrol because in the past, they've never, is that right, Joanne? They've never asked, but we always have donated.
Well, they asked for 2,000 the last time we gave 1,500.
Well, and I don't think that that's officially asked. I think it's kind of I think it's kind of like you were saying that National Night Out, the amount of money just gets popped in there.
Mhm.
You know, it's just it's a suggested thing that we do, from my understanding.
They volunteer their entire, I mean, they're.
They don't
there
ever
the
write a letter,
entire-
you know what I mean? They don't write a letter, they just, it's like an
I
under,
think they do though, because otherwise it would have a dash in it. Yeah, I think this year just got missed. But which is fine. I think I agree. We rely on that crew. And
Yes, very much
so
so.
how do we make,
so
can we make that, can we take can we do 1,000 for them? And take 500, you know what I mean, like.
I was gonna suggest do 1,000 for Civil Air and do 1,500 for National Night Out.
perfect. Love it.
We'll just split that number.
Yeah, that's,
So then we're at 4,000 for fireworks, unless there's something else that we need to really look at.
I just want to speak up on behalf of Jessica. I did send
I
her
know.
an email. I gave her all the details. I said they need a letter at this date, at this place, by this date. We're
Oh,
discussing it
yeah,
at the
wonder
such
what
and such
happened.
meeting. She's not typically a person that drops any kind of balls.
No.
She juggles a lot. She doesn't drop balls. So I
Juggles a lot, though, yeah.
shame on me that I did not follow up with her, because I sent that email to her, I think the day after our November.
She worked her butt
I know.
off.
Yeah,
And they
and
did,
she
those
filled
kids did
in a
get paid,
ton.
and they did get tipped by vendors, so they're not at zero.
But this would be.
But this is
would
for
be the
us,
organization,
saying we
you know, like-
appreciate you.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
came and helped run the vendor breakfast.
I know.
There were
Wow.
several of our
They took
senior
all the
vendors that
garbage
needed
duty,
6 a.m.
all of it.
assistance every
And
single day,
garbage.
and they
And
came.
garbage, hot garbage.
Yeah, and they filled all the volunteer gaps too. Anywhere that we were short at any time of the day, she had people here,
Yep.
and we were
And
like,
she
and
did it with a smile on her face.
yes, and she's not even on the committee. I asked her to be on the
I
committee.
know, I did too. I did too.
So I feel like I'm just gonna throw it out there, and I wanna speak on her behalf. I feel like we do need to make an exception there.
Well, and so here's something on Dana's point. So, I mean, we're kind of dwindling down. We're at what, 4,000 something
Yep,
for
like 4,000
fireworks?
exactly.
If we're kind of in this, like, do we want this to just support fireworks? Then we're still at, over half our budget, or just under half our budget of fireworks. So maybe we say, let's donate some to the Pine Island cheer team and the Century football team and make it right. The other question that I have is VFW, the meals and the window replace. They didn't ask for anything before either, and I feel like we're not doing anything for them.
I feel like, well, Sharon would have written both letters. Do you know what I mean? So
You think that they're okay?
yes, because it's Ross on the one side and Sharon on the other. And so personally, I think that, I don't think they're okay. I think they would
But you don't think that,
100% use our funding, but I think from what the way I'm thinking is the auxiliary is more need than the VFW at this point, so that's who asked.
Explain
what
to
I
me
mean?
how the line item reads with the window replace. Is that something got broken last year or a couple years ago? And so that got written in there, or we,
It probably, you know what, it's probably what they requested money for last year.
24,
That's what
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
what they thought, they would just tell you what they were
Yeah,
gonna use the money
That's what
for.
I'm assuming. And like, the auxiliary, they're the one that pays, they're the one that runs the pancake breakfast and they do
Oh,
all,
yeah.
so.
okay,
So I'm sorry, what number are we at right now?
So what if we,
4,000.
so what if we
Hold on, let
did,
me just double check it.
yeah. What if we did that 5 national night out? What if we just did 1,000 for that? And took that 500 for the dance, or for,
split at 250 for cheer. I feel like that's not very much.
I don't either.
When you're still saying that we're still giving half of our donation budget to fireworks.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
at
we're
that
still-
point, like
we're
we're
still at
still
4,000.
giving half, so
I think
taking
we
that
should take-
half.
Like I said, but then again, back to that little point that I pinned up, how much do you think that we can or how much do you think we can raise for the fireworks? And why is fireworks in this budget rather than in like the city
Because
budget?
this is the way that the city has always paid for fireworks, is via Gold Rush profit.
Because I'm thinking it's
And
a city event, I would think it would be in the city budget, you know what I mean, like,
But I've heard that there's a contract between Gold Rush and the city that, no?
Okay.
Oh, I've heard that, over the years,
I
and
don't-
it's like, I've never seen
The
it,
contract
but
is
I've
between.
never been on council.
We enter into a contract with, because every year we sign it. I don't know when. but
like he
at the
said,
beginning of the
seven,
With,
more
it's
than 70
actually-
days before.
year. Yeah, it's actually Ross and Sharon's son. Can't remember his name at the time. It's his, he does it. He's super.
Firework guy.
Yeah. firework. We enter into a contract with him.
The city does.
Yes.
Yep.
But and I have said this, like, why are we entering into a contract with somebody that we don't have the money? Like, we don't have.
Well, is there, maybe Ryland knows, maybe there is something in the bylaw that states that Gold Rush.
Well, we have the
pays
bylaws right
for-
here.
Here.
Right.
Is there
Yeah.
anything in there about
No.
fireworks?
I don't think so. I think it's just an informal thing that has just kind of, it's one of those things. that's
If we
always
could
been
just write a
done.
big fat check and just make it go away, that would be great, but we're not in that
I know.
situation.
And I do think that
I say we give 1,500 each to football and 500 to cheer, and the remaining balance just goes to 4th of July because that's what's left.
I like it.
So 3,000 to 3,000 then would go to further.
Okay. And then we ask our people to step up if they want fireworks, which they do. And maybe there are some other, maybe there are some other groups or committees then that in lieu of our being short, being able to cover it, would be able to step forward and say, hey, here's
What
Jessica.
about parks? Oh, what about like parks?
Right,
or
if another
fire?
group, if they're
Or
like,
fire
hey,
department for
you know,
fireworks.
what can we do to help
Yeah.
get,
You know, like-
get scrounge up some money for Gold Rush?
I think just even, I swear you guys, I've seen.
It's
them.
Jessica, I'm double checking that you guys got my application. I had to mail it from Omaha.
What the heck?
Oh, she mailed it.
We are in the meeting.
What did it say?
She should have taken a
Right
picture.
now.
She should have taken a picture of it, just emailed it.
How much is your request?
PS, join our committee.
Yes, if you join our committee, we'll give a little more. Just kidding.
Not
Just
true.
kidding, I know, just kidding.
Does she live
kidding.
in Orinoco?
Yes, she lives on the west side.
Well, can we appoint her?
Right? By the way, you just got voted on the committee. No. Okay, I just let her know we were in the meeting and I asked her how much her request was for because we don't have the meeting. So hopefully she will respond.
Well, you should have told me that. I would appoint him again, dang it.
Yeah, let's see what
He did
she has to say. I can't believe she mailed it. She should have just taken a picture
Short 1-year
and
term.
sent it to us, and texted it to me.
Also that.
Jessica for
You
that,
know?
yeah.
Take a picture. Yeah, because I just saw her probably a few weeks ago at
But
Century.
see, she even remembered from Omaha that we were in our meeting right now.
Wow, yeah.
I
Okay,
told you she doesn't drop the
no,
ball.
she does
ever.
it, she does it.
Well, that
Um,
makes sense. What's everybody's thoughts on these numbers? We're at where we need to be.
So tentatively, unless she says something totally off the wall, I was thinking 500 for football, 500 for cheer, and then that would leave 3 that goes to 4th of July.
4th of July. And if for some reason she's like, oh, that's way too much, then we could put. somewhere.
Anything would be super fantastic. That's literally what I put on there.
Oh, Jessica.
Oh,
That sounds like her, yes.
I can see her not putting a number on it.
No, she's very fair
Okay,
and humble, so.
Okay, do you want to recap it?
Okay,
This numbers girl over there?
so to stay with our 8,350, we have 150 going towards the printer scanner for the Orinoco History Center. We have 500 for the Presbyterian Church parking, 200 for the Pine Island Area Home Services, 1,500 for National Night Out, 3,000 for 4th of July. DFW Auxiliary, $1,000. Civil Air Patrol scholarships and field trips will be 1,000. And the Pine Island dances and football is $1,000 to be split half and half between both organizations.
Mhm.
Century football,
What did I say?
it's,
Pine
yeah,
Island.
it's.
Oh, I have
yeah.
Century on here, but yeah, Pine Island and Century football.
Mhm.
Pine Island
Pine
dance.
Island Dance Century Football.
Yep.
Mhm.
So.
Cheer, it's Pine Island
Cheer.
cheer.
Cheers.
Oh, I wrote dance.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Okay, do we need to vote on this?
Yeah.
Do we recap Rhode Island and then vote, or do we vote without our chair?
Oh, we still have 5. Can
Yeah,
we
we
vote
can
them?
vote.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Chris- I was just gonna say Christine. We.
Want me to set a motion?
Make that motion.
Oh, man. Okay, officially, I motion to approve the donations amounts for the organizations that have requested and those who have volunteered and supported our Gold Rush Committee.
The amount that
And the amounts that are dictated and mentioned prior. Equaling $8,350.
Tina, do you have that? Okay, I second that.
Is there any other additional discussion? So. I'm so proud of us that when he gets back, it's all done.
Motion to approve?
I could take it
With
from
an
there if
I?
you want.
Oh, I,
Yeah, I think it's officially you have to.
I think I have to take it.
I And then, are there any nays?
I have to do it.
Oh, wait, what?
I have to do
She's
it.
the vice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm used to running my,
Actually kind
sorry.
of fun just watching you.
I'm used to running it, my own meeting, so I'm sorry.
All right, all in favor,
I,
all opposed. Okay, motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Getting stuff done.
All right. The next piece of the agenda on I, vendor contract language. Dana, working on contract revision.
Yes.
You guys all have that or is Ryland?
I do have a
Yeah.
printout if anybody does need to look at it. Right there. Riley probably does have it as well. There's his, Dana's notes are in red and Ryland's are in green. If you printed it in color, if not, you'll have to check the email. If you guys want to use my copy, that's fine. I can-
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, it is.
Dana,
well, there's red and green.
Carol, Joanne.
I wrote it.
Okay, good.
You're much more clear than mine, but I do have it in my chicken scratch.
Okay. I was given the motion.
You labeled them all?
She's looking at me.
We have, so we have Carol and Joanne here. Did you write, and is this blue?
Yep.
You?
We did the blue.
Oh, I never saw the,
Yeah, that was a newer one.
okay.
I
Oh,
don't
that
think he made, I don't think he made,
Yeah, we only have red and
we
green
only have
here.
reading, well,
Yeah.
we have one that has Carol and Joanne on
We
it.
didn't
I
make
can
too
go through
many
that one.
comments, so.
Do you have,
Mostly just no.
I just have one, I have Dana's and
I have Dana and Ryland's, whatever.
I don't have-
oh, you do?
I have
Yeah.
Dana's up here, yep.
No.
But I didn't see
Or it's like,
your guys' comments.
Yes.
I just sent mine to.
oh, for goodness sakes, I'm trying to find.
I don't know if you consider them, so.
I'm gonna try to find it.
So on. Let's just start by reading through the first lot and price. So $100. Question, should we consider raising the rent to 100 or 120 per 15 by 15 or 15 by 20 lots? Checks will be accepted prior to August 1st and are your receipt. Therefore, or thereafter, all payments must be made in cash. Credit cards are not accepted. Consider Venmo, PayPal on website. And
That's the
no,
first
no, 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 no.
So wait, so Carol and Joanna equal no.
No. So question on considering raising the rent to 110 or 120.
It's been an awful long time since we've ever raised any kind of lot rent.
And everybody else is raising.
I struggle with that because walking around, I heard people say that it was too much.
Same.
That it was, that 100 was too much?
These were new vendors. These were vendors who usually go to local flea markets, like, they go probably more than once a year, I'm assuming. They probably go monthly. I think lots of times they're held, so they probably pay, but ours is once a year. So there's a lot to unpack there. Joanne, what's your thoughts
Well-
and history with it?
Yeah, we've just spent it $100, but it's a 3-day show.
I know.
So if they're paying, I don't know what they pay at other spots, but that may only be like one day. So
Or like 4
I used to-
hours.
I used to pay
Yeah.
$100.
Like a
for-
table, you'll get a table for like 75
by
bucks at a
eight.
craft show for 4 hours.
Mhm.
Right, like where my mom goes in St. Cloud. So she's there and she buys a table for $75. So this is 3 days for $100. I mean, I heard that it was expensive, but I personally think that it's
I think that's super
I
reasonable.
extremely reasonable.
Yeah, because yeah,
agree.
if it's an 8-foot table, it's more. If it's a 10 by
Right,
10, yeah, because
right.
I used to do craft fairs and that's what. it
Could
was
we
more than-
offer, I mean,
So, exactly.
is there any reason, or I mean, is this helpful if, for those people that are thinking like, well, where's the break or how do you get a discount? Can we offer, you know, like $20 off if you get a double lot?
I don't think that, from what I understand, we barely make money
Oh,
on what we have. So like, then if we went that far, how much do we, Carol's the one that has all this broken down, but like, we barely make money on
Okay.
anything. And especially our food vendors, that's actually where we really get, like, it's really bad. But, so offering a discount, that's why when we said, you know, for bringing in new vendors, we would give you a t-shirt or something, because we can't offer a discount because we don't make enough money to
Okay.
offer it.
Yeah.
From what I and Carol's got the exact, and Ryland probably does too, the exact numbers. But it's such a tiny margin.
Yeah.
That discounts really aren't
okay.
a thing we can do.
So 110 or 120, if we rate, what if we raised it to 105? I mean,
I think,
if we're trying to hit something, raise it a little bit. I mean, 110 doesn't seem like it's a crazy amount.
Mm-mm.
I
To
agree.
me.
No, $10 more is not much.
And how many vendors did we have last year? 180 something? So potentially, I mean, if we raise it $10 per, potentially it'd be around if you had 180 vendors, it'd be around $1,800 extra we would make.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just went over the numbers for donations, $1,800 goes pretty far in the end. I mean, if we're having to squeak dollars.
Right.
And just so that I can get clarification on something, and I'm sorry if you guys have done this at another meeting and I've missed the understanding of this. The donation money and what we make from lot price, that's separate. So we make something this, or is this lot price,
This is
that's where we're getting the
profit.
donation money as well.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're not, I mean, we're basically covering our operational and then everything else is given
Goes out
away.
the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're
and
saying,
we
we're
are,
holding a little bit this for nest egg that we need for
For,
start.
to cover operational costs for
Right.
next year.
And all of that has gone up.
Yeah.
right, oh, yeah. Things
So
like,
I
I
think
mean,
that,
Advertising alone and.
well, but it was, what was it this year? Porta potties and ice. were
Oh,
insane.
yeah, that's
Right.
You
right.
know, like that.
That was insane,
was
yeah.
well, and the electricity too. I remember Carol saying like just electricity went up as
Well,
well.
what we had is like, we had, you know, we had our tiny amount from, we had given away all of our money in 2019. And then when the pandemic hit and we couldn't have our
Right.
show,
Yeah.
we had
We
this
still had
teeny
operational cost.
Tiny amount of money and no money that came in from 2020. And so, yeah, so we had to start out this year's show with
Next to
and
nothing.
we just decided right then, like, we can't let this happen again. We have to save more money, which is why our,
The whole back.
why
donation
our
went down.
yeah, donation went down so much.
Because we're saving it.
It's not
We're
holding
back. We're not
some.
giving it all, okay.
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
not giving it all away this time.
We're holding back more to ensure that nothing like that ever happens again, because it almost completely. ruined
And then
us,
that
you
will
know?
also allow us to
Okay.
have actual budget lines and have, you know, that way, if Dana wants to buy, say her budget for 5K is $200 for t-shirts, she doesn't have to come and get $200 worth of t-shirts approved. You know what I
Yeah, well, we're
mean? You only
hoping
get
to do that,
approved
yeah.
if you go over the $200. So
Okay, so let's get back to these.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably
Contract.
something we need to like have a further discussion about, and I do think that Ryland should be here for that discussion, and, but I agree that 110 would be a smart increase.
So let's revisit and vote on the increase of 110 in January.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about consider Venmo, PayPal, and website. No, 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 no. Why the no, 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 no?
Carol said it was something to do with setting it up and the fee. There's a fee that you have to pay to use it, like for every transaction that we would have to pay, or we'd have to charge the vendor.
PayPal, I'm not
PayPal is
sure.
no fee.
Well,
Well,
yeah, for
Depends if
business,
it's a
for
service or-
business, and if they use a credit card, there's a
little
Yeah.
things that happen. that-
There is.
But if we set it up as nonprofit, do we still get hit with that?
There is a lot I'm learning right now with my new job with all of that stuff. And I want to look into that because you can get so much access to free things because you're a nonprofit that you would normally pay for. So I think it's really worth investigating and looking into. Because I think if we could get people to like fill out a form on our website and submit their application and pay, it would make everything so much easier. And I
She was
think-
just concerned about the fees.
I know,
the
and I
cost.
do think it's definitely something to be concerned
The
about,
other
but
thing you can do is you can charge the fee back to the person. So if you submit this electronically, there is a $10,
2%, yeah.
10, whatever it is, transaction fee,
Right.
so that you
Right.
cover it.
the person incurs that instead of the business. And that's super common, especially for nonprofits.
Yep, we do that for the PTA.
Anytime you donate, oftentimes you're like given the option to choose to do that $2, take on that $2, and that's.
The other thing with Venmo, PayPal on the website is that you could have a way for people just to donate. Do you love Gold Rush? Donate here. And there could be an easy click. Donate money. So I mean, I think,
And that honestly could be very helpful when we're out trying to solicit
yes.
for dollars for 5K
Yeah.
or just in general for Gold
Yeah.
Rush. We go the door to door to door. Dana had this great cover letter template thing that I used. I ended up getting 13 people to do it. But I'll tell you what, if I would have emailed those
Yeah.
13 people, said,
Really.
hey, do you love me today? Click this link and give me money. They would have done it and I wouldn't have had to drive around for 4 days. And probably more people who were like, I don't want to deal with the people. I don't want to talk about the blah, de blah. Yes, here's $100. Like,
Right.
we'll probably get a lot of money. Like, it's
I
a,
can't find
it's
my
a really
checkbook.
good way. People are just so
People
impersonal.
don't, and
They're so
people don't carry
impersonal.
checks
No.
anymore.
Or cash, really.
Cash.
Or cash, yeah,
But they'd love to click a link and send you some money.
Mhm.
'cause
I
it's
feel
super
like there's
easy.
and a barcode.
I feel like it's just one more way to move into the realm or the future, and which is what we have to do.
Mhm. So Dana, can that be an action item for you to come back with next time to
Yeah.
get a little more information on electronic payments and being a nonprofit, if we could get around some of those charges and what that would look like?
Christine, would you help me with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to the next green, which is 2 PM under vendor info. Vendors who leave before 2 PM on Sunday forfeit their booth location for the 2022 show. 20, okay.
I think
Read the
So
2022.
They're just not
2023 show.
guaranteed their same lot is what they.
Correct.
So yeah, it'd be for the next year after that.
So they're not guaranteed their same lot, and that's because,
Or we could just put that following show.
the following show.
That way you don't have to change the contract to update that date and forget to do that.
For the
Every year.
following year's show.
Yeah.
I don't know, I have this in front of me.
There isn't another one
Yeah, it says my name.
with the blue.
Oh, no, but I have the blue in front of me, but I just,
I don't have the.
Okay,
I mean, I have the blue on my computer.
does everyone like that? 2 PM? They
Well-
leave before 2 on Sunday?
That's always been the rules, because the thing is, when people pack up on Sunday morning, it looks like crap, like.
Yeah.
Our show, you know
Or
what I
if they
mean?
leave on Saturday?
Yes, which, now, I know Carol Joanne in the past has made exceptions for weather,
Or
for
illnesses in the
Yes,
family. or
100%.
emergencies.
And there's always like, yeah, go talk to info booth. And about that,
And I feel like that's like a super, across the board, like lots of shows have those rules.
oh, yeah,
That you can't leave
Yeah.
early. So it's not like we're asking them to do something totally absurd.
yeah, that's not a new,
Okay, so everyone agrees with that?
Yeah. with
Okay. Make sure to provide your email and phone info to receive updated information. Is this necessary? Already on the reservation letter?
Where are you?
I am right here.
The blue.
Oh, I don't have blue, that's
You don't
why I
have
don't know where
blue.
you are.
All right,
Yes.
we're on the
This is
blue.
blue. The only thing that I would say is sometimes we have, which I found last year, we have a vendor name, but we don't necessarily have the vendor point of contact or like a good point of contact person. For instance, the gentleman that had his trailer illegally parked on Minnesota Avenue, who my girls and I met with the sheriff and then sleuthed out the guy and found him through, I don't even remember. I think we went through the list and found like he was from Kentucky or something and went through and looked, okay, there's someone from Kentucky, but there was a business name, but no name.
Mhm.
So then I looked up on Google the business name and then went to the contact portion and found the Gmail account and then found like the number, like it was
I do think that
super sleuth.
But all of what you just said is even more reason that we need to work with you, Joanne, to make sure that that program is cleaned up and all of the information in there is current. And
or not missing.
and when things aren't missing, because that, you're right on that, on our packet, sometimes there wasn't full information and it makes everything harder.
Well, and
So yes, I
We
do
need to
think,
collect
it-
more information there.
and
I guess Carol was just wondering if that's line sentence is needed there because it's already somewhere else.
right, but that's something we have to talk about too, because I still don't understand why we have so many.
I agree, taking that out. I think just delete that entire line.
Okay. As long as it's somewhere else.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that a note, make sure it's somewhere else. And
Well,
Make sure
and
it
instead of doing that, what if on the form, we just had like an electronic form that they are filling out, that they have asked the
Asterisks, yeah, that-
asterisks that they have to fill out.
yeah.
we were talking about that earlier, that you have that, and then not only is it required fields, but then they're entering their information, and yes, there is a 5% chance that they could type their email in wrong. But for the most part, they're entering it in, it goes automatically to a spreadsheet, it's available.
Yeah.
And if we do have a problem with an email, we've got a phone number because we recorded it.
And so they're not sifting through papers going, is this person in
This
this
person,
system?
is this
Let's
person.
look,
Yeah.
is this person
Yeah,
in this?
and then
system?
that spreadsheet is also shareable by the committee, so if we need to get volunteers to help certain
Yeah.
vendors, we've got that information, and I'm not waiting for someone to find an email or a piece of paper somewhere, or to contact vendors about, hey, we just realized you have to line up at this time this year, you know, like we have the ability to increase communication and knowledge.
Okay, moving down to the next one. So it says no electrical, food vendors only, or water hookups available.
Does that read funny to you?
It reads
Yeah.
funny. I feel like we should say
Water hookups and electrical available for food vendors only.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Water hookups and electrical available for food vendors only.
Yes.
I think it's the electrical or water and water.
Okay, camping is available on first come, first serve at Orinoco Park. Bathrooms are available at Orinoco Park and City Hall. Please display this reservation letter on the car/truck dashboard throughout the show.
But this isn't the reservation letter. That's what is always confusing to me.
You could just say provided reservation letter or.
Or,
This.
but what,
So
so
this is
what? I
what-
don't understand what this is even for.
So that
I don't know.
so that vendors don't have two vehicles
No.
here taking up space or?
But there's like 5 things that we're learning here. Camping is available on first come, first serve at Orinoco Park.
Mhm,
That's one thing.
mhm.
Bathrooms are available at Orinoco Park and City Hall. That's 2 things. And then please display this letter on the car truck dashboard throughout the show. I feel like we just need to dot those out
Mhm.
separately and then
Put it into the next
Well,
line.
they are. In
No,
my
but-
original one, they are.
they're not in any that I have.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's all one.
So on mine,
Oh, and yeah, on yours they are.
Yep,
I don't know how that
I
got.
got Ryland's.
Oh, I
Ryland
know how
changed
that
it.
got changed. That's why it got changed. because we are trying to.
Get it on one page.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
trying to make it smaller because we've had with so long.
Oh, that's, the type is.
Because you guys, this was all in paragraph form before,
Mm.
and it was like,
3
oh my
pages.
God, I couldn't read it.
People wouldn't, I'm
Yeah.
sure they weren't reading it.
No, exactly. It's kind of like the water and
So-
sewer letter nobody reads because it's too much.
Well, and
Okay,
it's like, yeah, and golf carts or ATVs are not allowed rather than no. I don't
okay,
know.
what about if we go back up right under vendor info, vendors must stay for all 3 days. Cut that out. Just take that completely out, line it out, advertised hours for the show, and so we can take that out and say,
Okay.
show
3-day
hours.
Or you
event,
could say
Friday
vendors
through
must stay
Saturday,
for
or
the
Friday
entire
through
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Just the
just say
entire event.
event runs Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, put that, and then put vendors who leave before 2 p.m. on Sunday,
We're just, yeah, or saying vendors must stay for the
3-day
entire event.
or 3-day event.
Mhm.
Vendors, this show runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc. Then that will cut down on some of that.
Mhm.
Rain or shine, not responsible for rain, theft, or an act of God. So it's like, instead of saying the show goes on, rain or shine, just put rain or shine.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Where should I put it? Should I cross out that
Just-
Gold Rush is not responsible for rain shine?
No, I would leave that. I would
It says
just
the show
cross,
goes on.
the show goes on, rain or shine, just put rain or shine. And then Gold Rush is not responsible for rain, theft, or an act of God.
This event runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rain or shine.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
So, but we're taking out where we say they're required to be here for all 3
No,
days.
No, leave
No,
that.
no,
out.
Okay,
Leave
okay,
that
okay,
in.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we still need that.
So, and I feel like we could also take out the Gold Rush carries insurance on the common walkways. That doesn't have to be in here.
No,
They don't, that
We
should
have
be
it, they don't need
expected.
to-
yeah,
I feel like we could just say all vendors are responsible for their own insurance.
Yeah.
A copy,
Please provide a copy of your.
Now, that's what I was gonna
well,
ask.
can you
Does
add
anybody
that to the
actually-
state of Minnesota requires that all vendors sign a new ST9 form each year as well as provide proof of insurance?
does the state
Period.
require it?
I don't know. That was where the question marks come in, because I wanted to know if that actually happens.
Well, just take out the state of Minnesota, just say vendors are required to sign.
And
We
nobody
can
ever
require that,
submits it?
right?
Right, right.
I
But for
know a
some
couple
reason,
people-
they ask for it.
A couple people came up and said, I need to
The
submit my
ST
insurance. to Carol."
19 form we
I
have
know
to have.
some people did, like right before setup, they walked up to her booth or walked up to the.
We can leave it in there, I mean,
Well, we can take out the part that just says the state requires it. We can just put all vendors must sign a new ST19 form each year and provide proof of insurance.
Right, but that started like 3 years ago, and when it started, all the vendors were like, what the heck is this form for? Why do I have to do this? It's like, it's the state of Minnesota requires it, we have to
Oh.
have it, then we have to send it to the state.
Oh,
So that's why. 'cause
so
yeah.
it is for real. The
Yeah.
state says for real.
Yes,
They
yes,
have to.
yes.
So what if we leave that
Kind of a
in?
nonprofit.
What
yeah,
if,
whatever.
Or you
leave,
could say all
leave
vendors
that, but
sign
cut
a
the Gold
new-
Rush carries insurance on all common walkways,
Mhm.
cut that out. And then put vendors are responsible for their own insurance. A copy of your insurance,
Should be included with your
or,
reservation.
could
including
be made
copy.
must be made available if asked. Or something, I don't know.
I
What do
think
you,
we
do you,
should
because
just,
you guys actually take, that's what I was
I
wondering,
think-
do you actually get copies of insurance from people? Not
No.
really. Because nobody submits
What
it.
about
Nobody
all
gives them to us,
vendors?
So, yeah.
All vendors must sign a new
But it's
Minnesota
kind of
State
like-
ST.
It's kind of
19.
like,
be
insurance,
shorter.
like, you're required to carry it.
How about please be able to provide proof of insurance?
proof of insurance,
Available
Please,
upon
yeah, please
request.
plan to provide proof of insurance or something,
No,
just in
proof
case.
of insurance available or proof of insurance required upon request.
Okay, that's good.
That's good too.
And you know me, I'm not concise, so.
Insurance required upon request. Yeah.
So, and then I can send you this one too, if you want, if you guys like it.
Just provide insurance. Yeah, that's better. That's what those questions marks for. Okay.
Okay.
I think food sales looks weird too.
Where's that?
Food sales from vendors who do not
Okay,
have
hold
a
on.
food permit are not allowed.
Yeah.
No, yeah, food sales from vendors who do not, why don't we
Vendors
take that
without
out?
a food permit are, yeah.
Take that out because, oh no, I don't, never mind.
Vendors require
Food permit,
Are required for all food sales.
yeah.
vendors are required.
What is it, a food permit?
Yes,
Here's the
you
Is
deal.
actually
that
have
what
to have
it's really
like a-
called though, or is it called a?
It's the state. The
Yeah,
state
but
has
like-
to come and check on them. And
Yeah,
so
and
like,
do an inspection,
yeah.
but is it really a food? Is that what it's called? Or is it called something else?
The state comes to check their license.
But there's a.
so they have to have a
There is
permit.
a permit to
The permit is from
sell.
us, from the
Permit.
city.
The permit is from the city, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
they
city.
have their.
They have to
license.
call
What
the,
sentence is here?
yeah, no, it is, it's around.
I don't know. I just, that
So
one
it's
I
like-
lifted right off of the contract. So I don't know what's. the
Food
next
permits
step.
are required for vendors who are selling food. Okay, no, we can't.
It
do that.
sounds silly, but you guys, like
You
people.
know what I mean? Like,
It's called a food service license.
good. Vendors are required to carry to obtain a food service of, I can't, that's too many words.
Just put food service license required if serving food.
For vendors.
But see,
yeah.
we
But
don't
then
we
have
have a
that.
permit
too.
from the
And we
city.
get the permit, that license, I think there's a state
State.
person that comes down and
So
goes
it's two
around
different
and looks
things.
for that.
We're talking about two different things.
Yeah, we
So
do the
what we're
permit.
talking, like, so the boys.
They
sold-
can't have a lemonade stand.
No, you can. You just
Oh.
have to get a food permit.
Right.
So like they sold lemonade and gave all their fund, or they had sold soda and gave all their funds to childhood cancer, but they got a food permit to do that. They got a permit from the city to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So they paid the.
But they weren't cooking
$125.
anything.
But they
behind
weren't
the-
cooking. No,
behind
so
the
what we mean is
scenes
like vendors, so vendors can't sell you a can of soda
Mhm.
Unless they
or
have the food
water.
permit.
in their booth unless they have a permit through the city. And that's just to,
So what if we said city food permits are required for any vendor
Orinoco City.
Orinoco City food permit required to sell any consumables. Or any food items.
Or additional food permit fees apply. I don't know.
Or.
Because that would be in
subjective to-
addition to, if they're just, they have to pay for their lot, but if they're also gonna sell food, they have to pay an additional, it's not like included.
how about food sales from vendors apply only to those who have
A city food
a city
permit.
food permit. I don't
Just
know.
put city food permits required for all
Orinoco
food
City food permit
sales.
required to sell any food item.
Yes.
Required for a vendor to sell any food item
Yeah.
or.
As long as it all stays on one line.
Yeah,
That
that
it
is,
should.
Going into 3
Orinoco
pages.
City food permit required for a vendor to sell any food item.
Perfect.
I like, cause
But
I
the
like
food
that you said that,
permit, I
'cause-
think, comes from us.
yes,
Orinoco.
Orinoco City. So
When you
Orinoco
say
City.
it's city,
But
it's
Jared,
it's not.
But
from
we
here.
handle it,
No,
and
it's
we
a
bring it
city
to the
food.
city.
it's a city
Right,
food
but I
permit.
think we get it. and
Yeah,
then
we get it, then we
you.
bring it to
No.
Geraldine.
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
get them,
well,
yeah, we get them, and then we have to
Yeah,
bring them to
because we
Geraldine, that's what we
record
did
it
this
and
year.
Everything, it's on our computer.
Mhm.
What?
We
Wait,
get it.
They can
and
bring
then
in-
we
also
give
took
it.
some food permits too. didn't
No,
we?
Because
they-
we keep some of those funds, we charge $250 for a food permit. We then bring them to the city charges us 100, so we make 150, I think, per food permit. Gold Rush makes 150 per,
but that's not for the, like, if you want to sell soda and water.
yeah, it's for all food permit.
Not if you want to sell water on your property?
Yes.
No, that's like a gathering permit.
Yes.
Oh, there.
That's a
That-
gathering.
That's a
But that's
$25.
not for a vendor.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I
This
said,
is
That's a
only for
resident.
vendors.
that's why I said
This is
required
vendors.
for a vendor.
Mhm.
Okay, so I am confused now.
Well, the gathering permit is for like people that want to sell the lemonade stand.
Okay,
or
that's
the
what I was
water.
talking about. So X out everything I said earlier. Who,
The
how-
food permit has to come through
Gold
us.
Rush,
This is under vendor.
And then like say, then we turn around and give something to Geraldine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Orinoco, so how, so we have,
I think we
Orinoco
charge, if I
food permit
remember what
under-
Carol showed me, I think we charge $250.
obtained,
And then we bring them to Geraldine and she collects 100. Or vice versa, she gets 150 and we keep the
We
100,
could
something.
say
It's a
Gold
split.
Rush food permit.
Yes, I like that.
Okay.
Gold Rush
instead.
food permit required for food sales.
Required for a vendor to sell any food item.
okay. And
Or
this
if
is
you-
not, this will not be the final draft.
Okay.
Do you
That
know
would
what I also love? Generators aren't allowed. Except with special permission.
And
I
that
don't-
is for people who have like
It's
strange.
Minnesota nice.
Yes,
Do we have to say anything about generators?
yes, we get questions constantly.
But if they have a gas generator, why can't they run it?
That's what I'm questioning.
Because
Why?
it has to be plugged into electric.
If they have a gas
Mhm.
generator that they,
But aren't they really loud
Yeah.
and really smoky and
Yeah.
noisy? So the
Some
people
be.
around them do
Yeah.
not like it.
Right,
So one time we had one way down by the bridge. We're like, you can run it way down there.
yeah, and that's
And
the
then
thing,
one
like,
up here
there's
by
like,
the Lions
there's a
Club.
conversation had, because we had someone this year, I can't remember, that sent an email to me. Or a Facebook message, you know what I mean? Like, they're all, this stuff comes in constantly throughout the year, like messages like that, and so I do think having it in our. And then just knowing that like there's special permission, because there are people who do certain things like crafts or do stuff while their show is going on and they need a they need some sort of power supply to operate their whatever.
What
so
if
can you go back up to where water and electric hookups are available for food vendors only?
That's down underneath.
Generator requests must be sent to the whatever Bevcom address or whatever.
Well, the other thing I was gonna say, so that's right below. What if,
Oh, hello. Not above, people
You're like, let's
underneath.
go all the way back
What
up,
if-
go all the way back down.
what if we said no electrical?
Oh, that's all right.
What if we
We did
say
fine
no,
without
no electrical, food vendors only, or water hookups, or whatever our new words are? Generators are not allowed without special permission,
Can you read it?
So it's
Without
when-
prior permission.
without prior written
Generators
approval.
not allowed
Yeah,
without prior permission.
Without prior
written-
written approval.
written approval.
There you go. Because then they can't say, well, Sally said, well, I don't
But
know
I
who
like
Sally
grouping it,
is.
I like grouping it with electrical or water hookups. Are
already changed the
available for
verbiage on
food
that, so-
vendors only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
food vendors only, period. Then go on, same line,
Mm-hmm.
generators are not allowed except with written approval.
Are
Okay,
not
I'm gonna leave out-
allowed without,
Oh, you lost me.
okay, generators are not allowed without prior written approval.
Correct.
Mhm. I have yours, because.
Sure, go
We
ahead.
kind of had to scrounge around a bit.
It's all here someplace. I'm glad you found it.
Okay, so does that make sense? Approval?
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds good, because then you got electrical and water hookups
Right.
available for food vendors only, period. Generators are not allowed without prior written approval.
There you go.
That way
Okay.
they're not saying it, it's saying everything all
I
at once.
have, my name is on all of these, if you want.
Yeah, Dana.
Your name's on mine too.
Yeah.
I got Dana and Rylan on mine, and I got Dana on this one.
Okay, tables are not provided, that's great. No golf carts or UTVs are allowed except Gold Rush and those with authorized medical permits.
Okay, so I don't like to know,
Yeah.
it's gotta say golf carts and ATVs are not allowed.
That is a total lie though, because half
Yeah,
of
no
Orinoco
kidding.
was driving around
No,
on
I
their side by
know.
sides, giving me the bird and doing all kinds of nasty stuff.
Or
and I didn't
somebody
know
in their
what that was.
Raptor was up my butt on
Trapping
the
me.
golf
I
cart
mean,
many
they-
times.
So
There's some
this-
people that do the handicap.
Oh, this was not
Oh,
no
and then-
handicap. This was
I
all
know what you
day
mean.
Friday, Saturday, driving around with ears telling me to get out of the way.
This is,
Golf
this has
carts
become an
and-
issue, this has become an issue because it's a city. Yeah, it's a city. People are basically saying, you can't tell us not to ride our golf. We pay for a permit, or we have, or it's, you can't tell us not to ride our
Well, it could be during. the
But in
event.
that permit though, in that ordinance, doesn't it say, but
Gold Rush
not during
weekend.
Gold
Yeah,
Rush?
not during those recess.
Yeah,
Right.
so there
It
you go.
says it right in there.
But who's gonna enforce it?
Right.
That's, I mean.
I tried and that, I'm telling you, they do not care.
No, I know,
Right.
I
I know, the
know,
Civil Air
we were
And
together.
the Civil Air
Yeah.
Patrol
That
helped
is
try to help too.
something else.
I know the Civil Air Patrol guys were trying to help too,
Yeah.
but they weren't listening.
So either we say
Oh, it's.
special or,
But remember, this is to
Net-
vendors.
Money.
This is
That-
to
I'm not
vendors.
saying
So
that,
we
but
can
that's what
make
I'm
it,
saying.
so we could make
Yeah,
exceptions
special
for
use permit.
residents.
Special use.
What we're
permit.
trying to say in this to vendors is don't be
Yeah.
having your golf carts in here.
don't bring your golf cart, so
No, can we do a special use permit for that weekend for people with ATVs and golf carts at a
let's just work on this first.
ridiculous price?
What's the penalty if they don't? You know, what is the penalty now if they don't comply with that ordinance?
Good question.
Nothing?
Let's continue
Honestly.
on this,
Okay.
let's continue on the contract, because that's. a
Because
different
this is
story.
speaking to the vendors.
So-
We're sort of getting off track with like resident
Yes.
issues, which we can talk about later.
So I would like to say Gold Rush will provide golf cart with a medical permitter. How
Limited
does
limited
limited
medical
golf-
permits, limited medical permit.
available?
We've never
Right.
had,
Yeah,
we've
it's
never
overhead.
given a golf cart
Well,
to
it's around.
a vendor.
Well, that's a good point. Why are we putting this
It's
in the
only
vendor
to
thing?
our shoppers.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We could just
Right.
take this
But I
off
think
out.
but I think we're making sure that they don't bring one.
Right, because a lot of them will haul
Oh.
their own here.
So how about we say authorized medical permits or authorized, golf carts are authorized for medical necessity or something
Yeah, but then
like
they're all
that.
just gonna be like, I'm old
With
and
the-
can't walk, so I got my golf cart.
Can we just
Usually
leave
they
it
don't
off
because
though?
they're in their booth like all
Right.
weekend.
Can we
Right.
leave this whole entire line off of here?
Was probably put on for a certain reason.
Somebody
Right.
broke it.
So I'm wondering what
Somebody
happened.
did it, yep.
We could just put golf carts and UTVs are not allowed
There you go.
There you go.
for vendor use
Look at that.
by vendors. I don't know. Because if they're not, like you said, we don't provide them for the vendors anyway.
Mm-mm. I suppose if somebody
Yeah, essentially it
came
says
to
that
you
without
and
the
said,
permit.
you have one available, I could
That's
rent
right.
for a couple hours so I can travel around the show, you're not gonna tell them no.
No. and then
But we're
we
not
do
gonna
that.
advertise that.
They
Yeah,
pay
for
for
vendor
it.
use,
Right.
and I like that, yeah. Golf carts and UTVs are not allowed for vendor use.
There you
So
go.
can I just put a not allowed? For vend,
Well, it is under
But do you think
vendor
it's there
info.
just so vendors know that they do see one, if they, it's either Gold Rush or authorized permits?
Mhm.
So they don't come back to the information booth and say, hey, that person has, well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I don't think we have to clarify that. I mean, we've all got our shirts on and we're,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Either
trying
that
to,
or-
so we're trying to make it shorter. You know what I mean? We're trying to
Oh,
make
yeah,
it.
no, I understand.
So that's why we're.
Condensing.
Okay.
You can add vendor
We'll
stuff
bring
there or
it, we'll
not.
bring it back and we'll look at it again
After
and
it's
we'll,
cleaned
yeah.
up. Okay, one-way traffic patterns strictly enforced, camping is available. We already kind of went through this and we're gonna just
Clean it.
dot it up. But please display this reservation instead of saying this, please display
Your. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is
the,
something, this is something I need to.
The
fi-
official.
Right, I need to figure out because currently we have a contract, we have the terms of agreement, we have a reservation letter. I feel like it just needs to be one packet.
Correct.
And it is. It all goes out at the same time.
I would like to just call it that then.
what if,
You know what I mean? Like, please display, or please, and also, why do we need that?
true,
Does it reiterate
Well, I
a
think-
lot of the same information and all those, I mean, are there multiple sheets of paper that
That's what
say
we're
the
doing.
same
We're kinda
thing?
like-
We just do a piece of
Who's
paper that is
looking?
the parking.
who's
or the-
But at
looking
one-
for it?
At one, the Gold Rush Committee, because at one time we wanted their reservation letter, which I know part of it says it's like a parking
Yeah.
permit on their
Oh.
dash. So that way, if their vehicle is parked somewhere, you know, and we needed to know whose it was, you could find out. Or if they're got permission to park in their lot, that would have the reservation notice, parking
But do you-
permit on their dash. So then the committee would know that they're authorized to park there.
But how would you know just by having the reservation letter?
Because it's specific with their name, their vendor name and their vendor lot number and.
Okay.
So then the your.
Display your, but then we have to make that more,
I think it's just
And then
something
what I-
that we are never going to enforce unless it becomes.
What I don't understand, like, so many people don't even bring this with them.
Yeah.
When they're,
They do.
when they're driving in, they are like, we don't know what to do, we don't know where
We
we're
didn't
going,
bring-
I
Well,
don't.
they say that, but they have their papers, because then if you ask, like, well, okay, I need to know where you have to go, and
they
we
pull it
sent you
out.
paperwork.
So that's
Yeah,
maybe.
They have it.
Okay, so that's maybe why we need to make it like a name, like, do you have your Gold Rush packet? And then that's all of it, like, bring all of your pack, you know what I mean? That's where
Right.
I get confused, because there's the terms of agreement, the contract.
But the parking, the piece of paper that needs to go on their dash, it's
It
part of the
comes in their
reservation.
packet, it comes in their packet.
Yeah.
So then just put, please display your
Parking
parking
permit.
permit. Please make sure your parking permit is displayed in your dashboard at all times or whatever.
I think it's called the reservation letter. It's just part of that letter
But
that's
they don't
created.
know
That's
that.
con-
That's
yeah.
They
why.
don't, yeah.
We know,
nobody
we know that,
we
like,
don't-
oh, it's
or
this.
we don't even know it, because
And I
it's not
don't
even
think
the
it's,
name of it.
it's called a parking permit either. I think it's just part of their.
I think we should call it,
I'm gonna tell you what
Parking
everything's called,
permit.
you guys, here's what everything's called that they got. This is what's confusing. I don't know if they all say the same thing, I don't know if it's, what I have is the same information as what's going out to them, that's what, another reason we have to clean this all out. So they have a contract that is, it literally is just, it's the terms of agreement, right? That has all this on it. Then there is, Ryland, I think I sent this to you, because I was like, there's so many different things. The registration application. Okay, that looks different. It's also called the master reservation. So there's just, everything has
We need
multiple names.
nomenclature, or I mean, we need name.
what
Yeah,
if
we
we
need-
just printed out
So I think this
something
is,
that says
Parking
Gold
permit.
Rush parking permit?
is this
And
what
then
you're
have
talking
them
about?
put their license plate number on it and their vendor
That's the-
name
Like the
and their
cover page
booth.
that we mail,
I like that.
attached to all of the packet.
Okay,
Stick it in there.
and
So,
then
and then that,
is this what you're talking
That's-
about? Then
I
that
like
would be
it.
the
no,
perfect.
no, that they turn into the Carol,
Okay.
the info desk, yeah.
You know, when you tour
Okay,
colleges,
so-
you get your
Yeah,
parking
this is-
permit and you
that's-
put it in your window and you make
Yeah.
sure that it's in there.
And you don't lose that
So
permit.
No,
maybe
and you get
what
all
would
the
be
other paperwork, but
could
you
you
make sure
guys-
your
could
parking
you
permit's
send
in
it-
there.
could you
Yeah,
bring it
I like that.
packet to the next meeting. Everything that goes out. So that we know, because I think there's a disconnect between what we know the vendors are getting and what they're showing, you know what I mean? And what you guys know they're getting.
Right,
And you're in the booth
yep,
and we're out there.
right.
So we're all confused. So if we can all be on the same page with like that packet, what should be in your packet? If we all knew what was in each individual's packet, that would be more helpful.
So for this conversation, should we write? Please display your parking permit on the car truck dashboard throughout the show.
Yes.
And then we will create a parking permit that we will send in the packet that will have, let's say, parking permit, Gold Rush parking permit. It'll have a spot for their license plate number. It'll have a spot for their vendor booth number and a spot for their vendor
And they
name.
fill it in.
They fill it in and they,
I think that'd be great.
So please display
It's
your
just another
Gold
piece
Rush.
of paperwork.
Please
And I
dis-
don't know if they need their license number on that.
well, just to make sure that someone, if they're filling it out for themselves and they take it and they put it in their car, that it's theirs.
Yeah.
Nobody else is taking it to use.
So what
But
do
it
we,
wouldn't be a paperwork for you. It
Right.
would just be something for them.
It's just another piece to
Right,
stuff in the
like
envelope.
mine.
But it's
Yeah.
another paper that we have to mail with the packet.
Right.
Well, that's kind of why I think
please
if we
display-
all got
display
eyes on
your
this
Gold Rush
packet,
parking permit
we could
on the
help.
dashboard. So how does, please display your Gold Rush parking permit on the dashboard for the entirety of the show. That way you don't have to say car truck, just say
On your
on,
dashboard. Yeah.
on your, or yeah. On your.
Okay.
Okay. Vendor consents to use their name and pictures for promotion of downtown Orinoco Gold Rush Days.
I added that. We didn't have that. I think it's
Is that
important
part of the application where they can check a box?
because I'm pulling in, because I'm.
Yeah, but then we gotta track who
Listen,
said
I
yes
don't-
and
yeah.
no.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
you enter the proof of and-
I got it.
If you sign this paper, we can use your name.
No,
and
you're right.
photos.
You're right. It's, it
because I'm
is a
not-
registration nightmare.
Okay, setup. Show vendors, I think food vendors we're good with. Show vendors, consider changing to earlier,
Yes,
10:30 or 11.
So
that was
Carol,
the number
no.
one thing.
Carol and Joanne said, no, 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 again, but I don't know why.
That's- is it Because of the
Because,
change, just a
Huh?
dollar change or?
well, just leave it at 12 o'clock. Just because for the information booth in the past, just getting everything set up. And we have a lot of vendors coming down and just talking to us beforehand, just confirming everything. And yeah, it just, if you get it earlier, then the whole show starts earlier. Because even now, 4 or 5 o'clock, I mean, they're selling, we got shoppers already.
I know,
Yeah.
it was a heavy request this year from our vendors.
It always has been,
Because of the heat.
always has been.
What
Well,
about
and I
just
think
1
if it's-
hour? Is
if
that
it's-
reasonable? I mean, what if we just did 11 instead of 12?
Well,
We don't, it
and-
doesn't have to be 9 AM. It doesn't have to be break it
Well, then we have
down.
another hour of volunteers we need to.
But we were already there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Most of us got here at 9 o'clock that morning because we had a
And then
group
we
meeting
had-
at 10 and
Yeah,
I think if it's always been something that the vendors have asked for and and it was definitely requested a lot this year
It was
too.
the highest thing requested this year of everything we heard.
I feel like,
And the other thing in the past, the putting up all the flags in all the lots happened Thursday morning.
Now we're doing
I
that
think we
tonight.
had it done
We
early.
do that
Right, now you do
before.
it 2 nights before or something.
So that's helpful, right, in that process, that would be helpful. I mean, could we really, I feel like it would be like a good faith thing. Since it was, and these are vendors you get, and it wasn't just new, it was our vendor, it was our longtime vendors asking this, it was our elderly vendors asking this, it
well,
was.
and especially because it's hot.
Exactly.
It was,
I think
and they're
too,
getting
as we-
older. It takes them longer to set up.
As we look at the kind of consolidation of our lots, we're probably gonna have fewer lots to flag. And if
Oh, yeah.
everybody comes Wednesday night, it says it can come, there's less work to do on Thursday morning.
And you know what else was
Yeah.
helpful? We included flagging on the volunteer sign up, so we got
Yes.
residents to come and
Yes.
help.
yeah, and there's a
That
lot of
one
them.
night?
that was
We were
fantastic.
supposed to be here until 8. We're done in like an hour and a half.
On
Yeah.
Wednesday night,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was super fast.
because if you wipe out all those center lots at the Pines,
Mhm.
we're just doing the right of ways. And whatever we do, we don't do the VFW or we don't do B or.
Okay, so what do we think?
And it's
10:30
just
or 11?
another day for, the committee.
I can, I think 11 o'clock is a nice gesture. Our 10:30 is too early.
Yeah.
But I think 11 o'clock because we are doing, if we're actually going to do the consolidation like we're talking about, we'll have 100 fewer lots probably to work.
Right.
well, then, have it at 11 and then if and when, for sure, the show grows, then we can revisit the start time if it gets too big for us to, do 11 still.
Okay, consensus is 11.
Let's propose 11 and think about it and talk, let's finalize when you do all. Are you going to review this back in January? or forget?
Yeah, we'll be reviewed, yeah, this is the first,
So let's bring the start time back for discussion in January too. Corey may have some insight we haven't thought about. That's a joke.
No.
Oh my God, why laugh?
Oh, buddy.
And maybe we can open it at 11 and let them come in, but maybe the information booth doesn't open until 12 or, whatever.
We're pretty much
There's people
all
around.
here.
We're all here.
We're all here. They have access to us.
You guys
And two, are you
diligent
gonna-
about being
You just
here
need more
at 8 o'clock.
donuts. Just
Are you
kidding.
gonna let them start selling like at 2 in the afternoon?
I think
How are
they
you
start-
gonna enforce
They
that?
start selling anytime.
I don't think,
Yeah,
yeah,
think
they
that-
sell when they're unloading.
Yeah.
I
You
saw
know,
that.
that's not anything we can police, nor am I interested in it, because truthfully.
That's why they're
that's
here.
Part of the fun, that's when they deal to each other.
They should have that perk as dealers if they want to
Whatever,
sell to each other. It's not like the
yeah.
public is in there.
Yeah, I'm just not interested in policing that, like,
The dealers at Paul Pendergrass's yard, he emptied 2 trucks on Thursday afternoon just because the line waiting for him. But some of those I think are the pre-orders that deliver, people request those before the show starts and he delivers.
yeah,
Well,
I
and if
mean,
he's doing pre-orders, that's
Good job.
That's him.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're smart.
Okay, parking, the only change was the Presbyterian church added in there instead of just Orinoco Church.
Yeah, that's good.
Information booth opens at 7, staffed with event coordinator and volunteers, ice and t-shirts available for sale.
That's good. I like that.
Okay.
Big red bold.
Big red paragraph. We
Dun, dun,
reserve
Star,
the
star,
right-
star.
We reserve the right to accept or reject any dealer. We also reserve the right to inspect a booth and ask a dealer to remove any items deemed inappropriate. Failure to do so may result in removal from the show without a refund. Behaviors, actions, items that may result in removal from the show include but are not limited to being under the influence of alcohol or drugs, the use of vulgar language, the display of selling or giving away of items that are prohibited, including but not limited to firearms, explosives, fireworks of any kind, Confederate flags, political material, profane material, racist material, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, copyright and trademark violations.
Wow,
I basically
you covered
published,
that pretty good.
well, you guys, every show has this.
Yeah.
I did not reinvent the wheel here. This is a very typical statement
Yes.
from all shows.
And it's very important to have the but not limited to, include but not limited to, because then we're not limited to those words. But also Dana and I were talking about that as well, when the vendors are signing up, that we require them to provide a picture of their booth or a picture of their setup. And maybe
Or
a couple of their
very
products,
detailed description.
or a very detailed description. That way we can kind of see too what they've done before.
That was a suggestion, but Carol constantly brings up, what's the Walnut, Iowa.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't let a single solitary person into his show that he has not approved by picture, I mean, it is super picky. He is super picky. I'm not saying we go that far. I'm just saying, I think we weed out a few people by either providing a description or picture, because I know not all of our vendors would be able to
Provide a
provide a
picture.
picture. I know that, like, there is a
But
limit sometimes to the way people
Yeah.
use internet.
But I think it'd be great for two reasons. One, we kind of get to know the vendor, but two, we kind of know, okay, in this lot, this vendor sells, if they do provide a picture or if they do what I have, we might learn when someone says, hey, who's the one that sells that whatever sign? And it's like, oh, I think it's in this one because we had that vendor information or we had a picture or, just to
Or you
see.
don't put two glass guys next to each other.
Well, I
You
know over the
something
years,
like
you
that.
you do that, and there are notes in the program.
Not much though.
There's
I got
not.
like 2 lines
I
and
know.
that's it for the
So
description.
Joanne, would it be
Okay,
helpful
hold
for
on,
you
hold
if
on.
they were asking for people to add a description or not? Really?
Well, and we get that. We ask them that. And like I say, I have like 2 lines, so I can maybe get 10 words in there
Right.
to describe their specialty items. So I mean, I really have to pick and choose what words to fill in there. And then I have been getting vendors now sending me pictures, but I have nowhere to put them other than in their email.
So before we
Sorry,
keep
Starla.
going on this conversation, I want to finish this because we're done. We have just a few, we have a few.
I'm not green and red on here yet.
That's what I was gonna say. We have a few green and reds and a couple blues. Could this paragraph or whatever we come up with, if legal to do some of or all of these comments, but put on the reservation letter versus this contract, or just keep the contract on one page? This is a narrow margin and layout and Arial 9 font. Could we just use the first 3 sentences of the paragraph? Use all. I think that was Ryland.
Yes.
Except for the use all, which was our no girls.
So that was just us trying to figure out how to get it small,
Okay.
shorter, and whatever.
I think we should use it all.
Yes,
I agree.
I agree.
So Carol thought you should use it all and make this 2 pages and increase the size of the font.
Yeah, because especially with
Front and
the
back
older,
page.
yeah, older
Right, I was
vendors.
gonna say, can you do front and back instead of?
The
additional
older
paper?
vendors might have a harder time too reading it.
So then do we add something to the first page that says see back so they don't get to here and think
Page
that's the end? and
Page
they
one
don't-
of, page 1 of 2.
Right, or yeah, put continued at the bottom.
Yeah,
of
page 1 of 2 or continued, yeah.
Right.
That's good, yeah.
All right, and then
Hold on, we didn't,
We like that.
why is there 2?
The disclosure is on the front and the back. It's twice.
Never mind, no, whatever on my sheet is.
I have it in two too.
Okay,
So not mentioned in this letter from the current contract is Sunday morning reception, and vendors are responsible for reuse in their lots.
Refuse.
Oh, ref.
so the
Guys are
vendor,
getting tired. Yeah, I didn't see the L. I thought it was an L, not an F.
so that is there on tear down, the refuse. That was just.
Any cardboard to be broken down and placed in beside trash barrels.
But yes, the reception info is not in here, so we do need to, and that just needs to go on vendor info area. But see, okay, but wait, that's not a term of agreement. That's why I left it out. That's for your knowledge. So
True. So
Where-
could that go where we have the make sure you provide your email number to receive updated information and then this, it's like, yeah.
I just
Like a
think it
how-to.
could be in a better
I
spot.
agree.
What all is on the reservation letter? All I have here is the terms of agreement. What's actually what is the reservation letter? look like?
Joanne's gonna bring a packet next month for us to physically see, because I just have I have a disconnect between what
Yeah.
we have available to see with what's on the website and what we send to the vendors.
Mhm.
And it would really help to see it all together. And
Well,
then,
whatever they're getting in the mail should be exactly what's posted on the website. They should not be
know.
different.
Exactly.
but it
Right.
is.
That is a goal.
That should be the
That is
same.
We
definitely
want
a
to
goal.
see
It is.
everything, and I think too, like, in just organizing the information on here, there's a lot of information on here, but I don't even know where to look, and I know that we're going to be like
Oh,
reformatting
No,
and
that
rewriting
is
it.
the reformatted.
Right, it's hard to follow, so like, if I were given this as a vendor, I'd have been like, I don't even know where to look at it, so I'm just wondering if it could be organized a little bit differently, where like, this is the lot price information, then this, I'm just
Isn't that what
thinking
you
in my
have?
advertising, I don't think this is it.
No, you don't have the.
You don't.
Perfect. I was like, this is really
That's
hard.
the
to look at.
original.
And
I
this is the
almost-
reformatted one.
I almost wonder, you guys, should we consider the lot price information, the cancellation information, can that stuff go on the contract?
Also,
Does
when
that
you,
need
this
to
is
be
so
on
good.
this?
Thank you.
Does that just be
Okay.
on the contract?
when you make it bigger font, we're making it 2 pages.
Like this,
have
this,
that
I mean, vendor info, okay,
Everything's
great,
tabbed
setup,
over,
tear
and
down,
then
parking, this is info.
Or you
This
title.
is contractual.
Okay, did everyone hear?
Okay, I have a suggestion, I'm gonna shorten up the sheet again. I think that the first two items, lot and price info and cancellation policy, should be moved to the contract. That's contractual information. The rest of this is all vendor info. It's great. I mean, it's info.
Contractual information.
It is.
You sound like a lawyer.
Ooh, she
Well,
used a
I'm
big
just
word.
thinking like, how do you, if we're trying to like get the contract to be
Yeah,
streamlined, but like all the contract information should be with the contract and the vendor information is like, oh, I know the other, my addition thing, the Sunday morning reception. The other thing we don't advertise is ice sales. We make
It's on
God,
here.
It's
we
on
do?
here.
Oh, I didn't see it.
it's
Yeah.
there, but it's small.
On here. It's on there. Ice and t-shirts and
Information
Oh, I
new
see.
for sale.
Okay, never mind.
And I'm not gonna advertise a price because it
No,
changes based
no.
on
Yeah.
price, the price.
Price for ice.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Can we
Let's
change it
revisit-
to ice delivery instead of just ice delivery and t-shirts available? Can you add the word
Well,
delivery?
They can come get it too.
Well,
yeah.
they can, but more people would order it if they know it would just get dropped off to their booth.
Yeah.
A lot of them can't leave their booth to come
You
get
can say
ice.
ice and t-shirt,
Contact information booth for delivery or something.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, where is it? Where am I?
for delivery
At the
or
bottom.
pickup. Cause some of them that are like literally the booth next to us just come to get it.
Right.
Or some of
Yeah,
them that are
I know.
like right there.
I would like to see the, whatever the contract or the reservation letter looks like. I
So,
never even bothered looking for
Joanna,
it.
what if they could, in the packet, would you want me to scan it in and provide it before we have the next
Oh,
meeting?
that would be wonderful.
Where are we at? Downstairs in the-
Hello.
What floor am I on? There's a printer down there and it says it's a scanner and a fax machine. I have not been able to get the
I
scanner.
can't get that thing to work
Okay, you
at all.
couldn't either?
Don't it?
Like,
Like, I
I
tried connecting
the
it to
other day.
I tried connecting it to Carol's computer a couple times.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
it-
I
it-
tried to.
So anyway, I did try to scan
But if you want,
something.
but if you want to give it to me, I can scan it all in, send it to
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Ryland and wherever.
Uh,
I'll put it in a shared drive, you grab
Joanne
it.
can line, blank copy, such as the agenda to the committee members. I'd rather have her do it. So.
And then that way I can, and then it'll be a packet and I can either do it one of two ways, right? Just send the whole thing, or we can have a link to the drive where they all are, however you guys want it. And then that way we can look at it,
Send it
send it as
not the
an
link.
attachment. Okay. Yeah,
personally.
no, that's fine.
It's easier for me.
Me too, because I can click it on
I
my
think
phone.
ultimately
Yeah.
we want to,
I need to be able to.
Yeah.
because I don't think we're going to talk about it later, we will, but because there's a master file folder of everything. So sometime in the future, when things are finalized, we should ever just have a link to that folder.
Yeah,
But maybe not now, but because we're developing it.
yeah, I'm huge on document retention and records retention, so.
What do we need to consider putting in some kind of a Gold Rush show subject to change? I mean, in case we run into some issue with all this water business and the show doesn't
That might be
happen,
So
do we need to put in some kind of a
I think that
emergency, just a clause, just a little
we
thing
don't
in
know
there?
that yet. We haven't had a pre-construction meeting with the people that are doing all the streets and infrastructure. Hopefully by the end of December or early January, before the January meeting, hopefully
Have it, yeah.
we can tell you what they've told us about their schedule of where they're gonna be in the summer, this 22 or 23.
Well, and I
So
don't,
once
I don't know that we have to say anything about water or construction or anything, just some little ditty
Oh.
disclosure that says shows subject to change at committee's discretion. But so that if we have to cancel it, we don't have people like, man, I'm gonna call my
Oh, I see.
attorney. You know, some just little tiny little
Just a
blurb,
notice.
just a notice that says subject, any
the sewer
goal, any
project.
all Gold Rush subject to change via committee. Or at
So
any
then we
time
should
via
probably put a
committee.
due date when we're gonna make that decision too.
We
We'll
could
notify
revisit it in January or something,
Yeah.
once we,
1 May or 1 June.
Also, if you have.
Would that be part of the terms of agreement though, to have that sentence in there?
in the I think it should be included with the contract.
Yeah,
But the contracts don't go out unless the vendor has like specifically, said that they want to sign up.
Right,
So it's in the contract stating
right,
the Gold Rush Committee has the right to
Cancel the show if-
at any point due to
any kind of
foreseen or
emergency.
unforeseen
Right,
circumstances.
what if we had a tornado and we were like, okay,
Yes.
well, great, I mean, like, can't have a show.
What happened with 2020 when COVID, when the whole show was canceled? Because
And everybody just
they just
understood.
knew it.
No,
we
a
sent
letter
out
out
everyone.
in June or
we
July.
kept $10.
We have filing fee, $10, we have the $10 filing fee and sent all their money back.
10%.
Okay.
So.
Which I think we already have.
ooh, we get 11.
That's in the contract.
That's already in the contract.
Right, cancellation, if
Is
they
it?
were to cancel.
There is a cancellation because we
Right at the
use
top.
That's
it.
10% administrative.
Yeah, we use,
Oh, yeah.
Cancellation.
Oh, 10% administration fee if you're,
Yeah.
oh, no.
It's
Received
that's
by
not
a
it.
certain
That
date,
is
so
not it. That's our,
That's
that's their.
That's their cancellation policy. I'm saying something that protects us, just saying.
So
we have something.
I'm gonna keep rolling as you're the leader since
Thank you.
Rylan came back. I just am looking at the clock and it's 5 minutes to 8.
Right,
We are bringing this back
Mm-hmm.
to our next meeting with action items that are we're gonna streamline
Action
it some
items
more.
are the electronic payment options for nonprofits. These guys work on getting us the packet. Anything else I need to put in the agenda?
I don't think so.
and the revised terms.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to quit at 8 o'clock, right?
Well, I just am looking at what we've got going
Oh,
on
okay,
here.
so,
Yeah, she's.
yeah, I'd like to, for January,
I'm gonna keep it rolling.
Mhm.
down at the logistics. We can talk about that, it's further down. We talked about it in November, about Melissa being the logistics coordinator, and we started talking about different committee members doing different things and stuff like that. So what we'd like to propose is,
Are you on the succession planning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
hey,
we bypass J.
Revisit in January.
Yeah, we have to
we'll
revisit because you
revisit
don't
that
have the.
January, yeah. So down to K, we'd like to have a sub-meeting, if you will, with Carol and Joanne, myself and Melissa, to talk about what we talked about in November. and come up with a little more definitive outline of committee members with assignments.
I have my notes from November. I was sitting next to Joanne, so I think we pretty much wrote down the same thing. There were several things that were gonna get moved to volunteer coordinator, a couple of things that really need to stay or go back to her. Okay,
So we're supposed to come back, if we could meet
January.
before the January meeting,
okay.
4 of us.
I didn't print that.
That's the only thing I have. And we need to have Alyssa, it was in the action items too, Alyssa to give us some advertising budgets that we did for
yes.
2017 and 2018.
She did.
Oh, we did that
Yeah.
we did that in November.
She gave it to us back then. She broke it
It was an
down.
action item that came out of the minutes.
I think we were supposed to vote on, weren't we gonna vote on doing
had
an
500.
advertising budget?
500 for the.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna start to, establish those lines.
Yeah, in the minutes, we had Alyssa to break down the advertising cost. And they had to respond, it said $2,700 was advertising Facebook. But we didn't get into the advertising costs.
What? Yeah, I brought it. Turn it over a second.
Like, we did that.
Can you fill that in?
No, we did.
That looks like a really, that does not look like a good budget. Right.
Well, we can add it to the agenda again, but I swear to God, we discussed it already. Where's the?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna look at it.
So I just gave you one page of the November minutes.
Yeah. see.
Evidently, it didn't do much.
I was about ready to.
Oh, you did. Okay.
No, I
Page
sit at my
2.
second window. 7.
It's not on there. See, I think we already did it. I think I have information.
Okay.
I think I have the information.
It's on number of possibilities, logistics.
Yeah, we talked about Facebook funding, but we didn't talk about advertising.
While you're talking about whatever you're talking about over there. So we never did a pizza night.
I know, we never did a
So-
night.
I
Is it pizza
moved,
night?
I moved that we have a pizza night at our January 10th meeting.
Second,
He's in. I'll step over Lori again and say all in favor. I accidentally did that earlier, you missed that.
so, who else, who doesn't like any particular type of pizza?
I like,
I'll pass on pepperoni. That's all I have.
well, that's crazy, but I like vegetables. I don't eat meat, but I can take a choice.
We ordering it, or are we gonna go to Casey's, or make it here, or what's,
Make it where?
isn't there an oven and is there a kitchen here?
No, we order it.
Order it, where do you guys order it?
So if we had everybody.
Casey's would probably be
3
easiest.
large pizzas, we could take a
So good.
donation.
I love their taco pizza.
Yeah,
We'll get Casey's Pizza.
Mhm.
yeah,
Send me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll eat whatever.
I'll eat whatever too.
me too.
I'll eat off whatever.
I think 3 large pizzas would be plenty.
Yeah.
I bet Corey will come.
Well,
Don't anyone tell Corey next month is pizza night.
Let's bet on it.
Oh.
Maybe we
that's
could
too
That's
get
what
bad.
it
some money
takes to
into
get
the
it
pot.
Right? Don't miss pizza night. Honey.
all right. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Anything else?
I'm gonna meet with Dana.
we're looking
on
at-
advertising,
Oh, yeah, that's another
website
action item,
type
good idea.
stuff.
So. in
So I can
this,
have a job.
donation,
My,
I added 2 lines.
My name got
for-
taken off all the jobs, so.
I think you have a lot.
Dance team, is it
It's
is it
not
cheer
there.
and dance?
It's cheer team.
Just cheer team.
Okay.
It's
And
cheer.
the football team.
Yep.
So I added those 2 lines in here, we get 83.50 of course.
Thank you.
Before we finish, I just want to say that the last 12 months has been fantastic. I think we've done a really good job as a committee, and it's been really fun and nice work for everyone to get Gold Rush back up and running
Yeah.
after a year off. And
I love this
It's
group.
a proud moment to kind of finish up the year and last meeting of the year. So thank you to everyone. for
Thank you.
participating.
This terrified me
Appreciate the
for a hot
enthusiasm.
second.
So did I was like, here we go with the Lizzie thing.
Swear to God. You were being so serious, I was like.
Thank you. It's
that's so
sincere.
sweet.
I'm just being sincere. I
just worried that
appreciate
there was
you
a-
all.
There's a
And-
but there.
but-
Yes.
No,
sounded
I
like a
appreciate
resignation
you all
speech,
very
Lori.
much. And I am looking forward to 2022.
I am too.
Yeah.
And the one point that really, I agree totally with you, Lori. I think the one thing that made me very optimistic is the way everybody kicked in and
Yeah.
helped for National Night Out.
Yeah, that
Super
was-
fun.
To me, that was a
I loved it.
demonstration
It
of,
was so fun.
I thought that was like, that was my first like exposure to like working together as a group.
Mhm.
I had so much fun at National Night Out.
Oh, yeah, you rocked
I had
it.
stupid fun on that night and I was like, Gold Rush is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that was like it's like the
Yeah.
kickoff event.
Yes.
Our volunteer booth was so awesome because of Melissa.
Oh.
And that was the first time I
to like be
just
together. I mean, it was
She
the
had
first time we
everything
were
set
all
up. I've
like
never had that
together,
before.
you know? And I think in the midst of it, had we already started like doing some measuring or like locating or something right around that time as well?
Probably with the marking of the flags or the.
Finding the
stone,
line
yes.
things.
Because I was out with a couple people, but I sort of really hadn't spent any time with any other people. And then we got to National Night Out. So by the time we got to Gold Rush, I was like, okay, I actually sort of feel like
Yeah, you know.
I
Part
know,
of the group.
right? Or like they're approachable. They know who I am. They recognize me. I didn't feel like the lonely guy my first year.
Well, and I think also, just everyone participated. I mean, we were all there for all of those things. We all showed up and I think it made it go so well and our kids helped and our
Mhm.
kids are now best friends on Snapchat. Twins.
There's that.
Yep.
Oh, all the lily and all the land. Lily.
Lila.
Oh,
Lila.
Lila, I'm sorry, it's Lila. Oh, my word. Mm.
Yeah.
so before we leave, we need a motion to accept this list of donations to present to council for approval.
We did that already.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
We did it
Oh, I
twice.
didn't see what-
We did do it twice.
We did it twice because, I just too fancy.
I know you did. Dan.
So funny.
No, seriously, so I've always had my bylaws and everything approved, so I'm so used to running. And then Lori's
You
like,
kept going.
I just kept going, and then she's like, by the way, I'm supposed to do that. for you." I'm like,
She's
what?
just sort of like, oh, I'm gonna wait
Like,
for it.
Christine, come on.
I know you're looking at me and I'm like, what else do you want me to say? I just kept going.
But then it was kind of more fun.
Yeah.
It was.
So I moved to adjourn.
So what time is the January meeting?
Six?
Change?
No, it's just upstairs.
Okay, I thought the time was gonna change and the.
No,
place,
just the
so
location. So we'll be meeting, that's a good point. We'll be
Upstairs.
meeting
I got
upstairs
that, yep.
in the,
At 6 o'clock.
And it will still be the second Monday, so it will be also the January 10th.
Yep, so
Okay.
then why in the city or the, webpage, whatever, why does it have, when it lists all the meetings for Orinoco, why does it say Gold Rush is at 6:30?
oh, I don't know, we should change
It's
it.
always that. It's
Wait,
like
you
on the
mean on the-
calendar, but yeah, but then I thought, well, maybe you
Yeah.
guys did it because you didn't want the public showing up till 6:30?
I never even looked, I
No.
just planned for
We just need to
6.
have that changed. So when you look on the calendar, it says that, or on the website list